history of gaming, some missions transcend the screen. They burn themselves into memory, not just for how they play, but for how they made us feel. Today, we're counting down some of the best game missions of all time. The ones that define genres, pushed storytelling, and raised the bar for interactive design. Number 10. No Russian, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2. In the world of video games, few missions are remembered, feared, and debated like No Russian. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2 pulled players into a moment that blurred the lines between fiction and horror, between entertainment and ethics. It wasn't a boss fight. It wasn't a rescue mission. It was a massacre. And you were in the middle of it. You play as Joseph Allen, a CIA operative embedded deep undercover with a terrorist named Makarov. The mission? Earn his trust. Infiltrate his cell. Stop what's coming next. To do that, you must walk alongside monsters. And say nothing. No Russian, Makarov says. A command to avoid speaking the language. To hide your identity. To make the world think the Americans did this. No Russian drops you into the heart of an unthinkable act, a mass shooting in a Moscow airport. The game gives you a choice, not through dialogue or a menu, but through your trigger finger. You can pull the trigger. Or you can stand silent as your companions execute civilians around you. It's not about gameplay. It's about discomfort. It forces you to question not just what you're doing, but why you're still watching. No Russian sparked global outrage. Banned in some countries. Skipped by many players. Criticized by journalists and politicians alike. Some saw it as a bold narrative risk. Others as exploitation disguised as storytelling. It wasn't just violence, it was civilian violence. Realistic. Slow. Deliberate. It was the moment Call of Duty stopped being just a military shooter. And became something darker. In the end, your sacrifice was for nothing. Makarov knew who you were. He used you to ignite war between Russia and the United States. You die. Framed. Forgotten. The world burns. It's a brutal payoff. A gut punch. And it set the stage for a campaign that blurred the lines between hero and villain. No Russian remains one of the most talked about moments in gaming history, not because of what it told us, but because of what it forced us to feel. In a genre built on glorifying violence, No Russian asked what happens when you make that violence unglamorous, pointless, and personal. It's a mission that doesn't answer your questions. It makes you live with them. Was it necessary? Was it responsible? Was it art? The truth is, No Russian wasn't designed to feel good. It was designed to make you uncomfortable. And in that discomfort lies its power. Number 9. The Battle of Kaer Morhen, The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, 2015. In a world filled with monsters, kings, and endless war, it takes more than a sword to protect what you love. In The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, one battle stands above the rest, not for its scale, but for what it meant. The Battle of Kaer Morhen was not just a clash of steel and magic, it was the moment the Witchers stood together. For family. For Ciri. For survival. Kaer Morhen, the fortress of the Wolf School, had stood silent for decades. But as the Wild Hunt closed in, Geralt of Rivia called in every favor he had left. Old friends returned. Enemies set aside grudges. And the last of the Witchers prepared to face death. One final time. Every choice you made until now, the people you saved, the bridges you burned, came to roost at the foot of this mountain. Before the storm, there was silence. One night, shared by warriors, mages, dwarves, and outcasts. They drank, laughed, remembered the past, and hoped there would be a future. It's a rare thing in RPGs, to slow down before the world erupts. But The Witcher 3 knows, the battle matters more when we care about what could be lost. When the hunt came, it wasn't with honor. It was with ice, steel, spectral terror. The defense of Kaer Morhen became a flurry of fireballs, traps, swordplay, and blood. Geralt didn't just fight as a Witcher. He fought as a leader, a brother, a father. And amidst it all, the Wild Hunt tore through every wall and ward they had. In the chaos, a silence fell. Vesemir, the oldest Witcher, the last of the Keepers, stepped forward. He didn't die for glory. He died for her. Ciri's scream cracked the world open. Her pain unleashed a power no one fully understood, not even her. It wasn't just magic. It was fury. Grief. Destiny. They won the battle. But at a cost too great to celebrate. Vesemir's pyre burned bright in the morning frost. Not just for a fallen Witcher, but for the end of an era. From that moment, Ciri's path was no longer one she could run from. And Geralt's was no longer one he could walk alone. The Battle of Kaer Morhen wasn't just the heart of The Witcher 3. It was the heart of the entire saga. A moment where steel clashed with fate. Where friends became legends. And where love, not war, left the deepest scars. It's not often a game delivers such a perfect storm of emotion, gameplay, and storytelling. But when it does, it stays with you. Like a scar across the soul. Number 8. World of Tomorrow, Hitman, 2016. What if the perfect video game level was hidden in plain sight? A sunny coastal town. Narrow alleys. Ice cream shops. church bells, and 2 targets, and a deadly virus, waiting to be quietly erased. This is World of Tomorrow, the second mission in Hitman 2016. And it's not just a great level, it's a masterclass in sandbox game design. Welcome to Sapienza, a fake Italian town that feels more alive than most real ones. You're here to kill 2 people, Silvio Caruso, a genius-level sociopath developing a deadly virus, and Francesca De Santis, his co-researcher and rival. Oh, and while you're at it, you'll need to destroy the virus, hidden underground in a high-tech lab straight out of a Bond movie. All in a day's work for Agent 47. Here's where World of Tomorrow shines. It doesn't tell you how to kill your targets. It just drops you into a bustling, beautiful map and says, figure it out. Want to poison Silvio with his therapist's meds? Done. Drop a church bell on Francesca? Go for it. Pose as the golf coach and lure your target out for a one-on-one lesson? Absolutely. Every disguise opens new opportunities. Every route feels handcrafted. There's no one right way to play this level. Just your way. The mission isn't just a hit list. Sapienza is full of life. Tourists chat about the beach. Scientists argue over lab protocols. A grieving priest talks about redemption. A beachside musician plays for tips. The world feels alive, even if your job is to quietly end parts of it. And somehow, Hitman balances all this with its signature dark humor. You're murdering a man with a vintage cannon while dressed as a plague doctor. And it works. And just when you think you've seen it all, the level flips again. Beneath this Mediterranean paradise is a futuristic bioweapons lab. The tone shifts. The music tightens. Mistakes here have global consequences. Destroying the virus isn't just a checkbox, it's a whole stealth puzzle of its own. Cameras, guards, containment procedures. It's Hitman at its most tense and creative. You could play World of Tomorrow 10 times and never see the same outcome. Silent assassin runs. Accidental deaths. Speed runs. Suit-only challenges. Or just pure chaos. IO Interactive created a map that rewards experimentation. Every object, every disguise, every overheard conversation is a potential opportunity. It's a puzzle box, and the solution is entirely up to you. World of Tomorrow isn't just a level, it's the mission that defines Hitman 2016. It's where the reboot found its voice. Where Hitman became more than just a stealth game. And even years later, it's still the benchmark every sandbox mission is measured against. So if you haven't played it yet, or if it's been a while, pack your suit, grab your fiber wire, and enjoy the view. Number 7. The Village, from Resident Evil 4. No cutscene. No tutorial. Just a man with a gun. And a village full of death waiting for him. It's one of the most terrifying, brilliant, and perfectly designed openings in video game history. This is The Village from Resident Evil 4. And it changes everything. You are Leon S. Kennedy. Ex-cop. Government agent. Sent to a remote European village to find the US president's daughter. It's quiet. Too quiet. You walk into a house. A man is chopping wood. He doesn't talk, he attacks. From that moment on, the game's message is clear, you are not safe. Then you reach the village. A woman is burned alive on a stake. Villagers mill around with sickles, pitchforks. And just like that, they see you. There's no dramatic music cue. No cutscene. They just charge. Suddenly, you're sprinting through alleys, barricading doors, kicking down ladders. You're overwhelmed, underpowered, and completely alone. And then, you hear it. The roar of a chainsaw. Meet Dr. Salvador, the bag-headed maniac who can decapitate you in one hit. If you weren't panicking before, you are now. Bullets don't feel like enough. There's no time to think. No time to plan. It's survival horror, but this time, the horror isn't slow, it's relentless. But here's the genius part, it's not just chaos, it's designed chaos. The village is a sandbox. You can climb a tower, kick down a ladder, hide in houses, blow up red barrels. Every structure, every window, every item is placed for a reason. It's not about brute force, it's about using your environment to survive. And just when you think you're doomed, it ends. The church bell rings. The villagers drop everything and walk away, silently. Leon, in-game, where's everyone going? Bingo? It's absurd. Creepy. Hilarious. And unforgettable. Even nearly 20 years later, the village still works. Whether it's the original 2005 version or the 2023 remake, this scene delivers. It teaches you everything. How to move, how to shoot, how to improvise, and most importantly, how to panic. It's the blueprint for a modern action horror intro. And very few games have come close to topping it. The Village doesn't just start Resident Evil 4. It grabs you by the throat and says, welcome to the nightmare. Let me know in the comments, how did your first run through the village go? Did you survive the chainsaw? Or did your head roll? Hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Hopefully with your head still attached. Number 6. Freedom Cry, Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, 2013 to 2014 DLC. In a world ruled by sales, gold, and guns, one voice cried out against chains. This is not the tale of a pirate, but of a freedom fighter. Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag was a tale of high seas piracy and adventure. But Freedom Cry, the downloadable expansion released in 2013, took a much darker turn, toward the brutal legacy of slavery in the West Indies. Freedom Cry is set 15 years after the events of Black Flag. You play as Adewale, former slave, now an assassin and first mate to Edward Kenway. But this is not Edward's story. This is Adewale's reckoning, with his past, and with the horrors of French-occupied Saint-Domingue. Arriving in Port-au-Prince after a shipwreck, Adewale is immediately confronted with the sheer cruelty of colonial life. Slaves beaten in the streets, auctioned off like cattle. What begins as a mission to regroup becomes a personal crusade. Unlike the treasure-hunting glory of Black Flag, Freedom Cry shifts the focus. The game introduces a powerful mechanic: every action you take, every enemy you defeat, contributes to the liberation of enslaved people. You don't just fight for loot, you fight for lives. Free 100 slaves, and they join the Maroons, the resistance movement. Your upgrades are earned not in gold, but in courage. The brutality is unflinching. You hear the screams. You see the scars. And through it all, Adewale is not just an assassin, he becomes a symbol. Adewale is more than a warrior. He's a man torn between duty and identity. Raised in chains, trained to kill, but led by justice. In many ways, he's one of the most human characters in the Assassin's Creed franchise. Where Kenway fought for freedom from kings and empires, Adewale fights for the basic right to be free. He doesn't seek glory, he seeks dignity for his people. Ubisoft took a bold step. Rarely does a AAA title confront the Atlantic slave trade with such honesty. Set in the roots of what would become the Haitian Revolution, Freedom Cry doesn't just entertain, it educates. Saint-Domingue was the most profitable colony in the world, built on suffering. And Freedom Cry reminds us that the struggle for freedom didn't end in 1791, it echoed across centuries. In just a few hours of gameplay, Freedom Cry delivers a story deeper than many full-length titles. It's a reminder that some battles are not fought for glory or power, but for humanity. Assassin's Creed, Freedom Cry is not just a DLC. It's a cry from history, a voice demanding to be heard. Freedom isn't given, it is taken. If you've never played Freedom Cry, it's time. Not just to witness Adewale's story, but to feel the weight of the fight he carried. One that still echoes today. Thank you for watching. Remember, history isn't always written in ink. Sometimes, it's carved in scars. Number 5. A Crack in the Slab, Dishonored 2, 2016. In Dishonored 2, every mission is a journey through shadows and secrets. But none so haunting as a crack in the slab. Here, the city of Karnaca is submerged, broken, a labyrinth of waterlogged ruins and drowned dreams. You step into a world that feels alive with danger, and dripping with the unknown. The flooded district is unlike any other part of Karnaca. Crumbling walls, canals instead of streets, and the ever-present threat of the floodwaters beneath your feet. This mission tests your adaptability. No longer can you rely on dry land, now, every step is a dance with the tide. The setting itself becomes a character, mysterious, hostile, unforgiving. Your target is the crypt beneath the slab, a place holding dark secrets tied to the supernatural unrest in Karnaca. Here, your goal is clear: infiltrate the area, uncover what lies beneath, and confront the twisted truth of the Overseer's experiments. But this isn't just a mission about stealth. It's about exploration, discovery, and facing your fears head-on. The flooded district's hazards aren't just environmental. Overseer guards patrol the narrow passageways, while deadly traps lurk beneath the murky waters. Your powers and gadgets become vital. Blink across gaps. Use Domino to link enemy awareness. Or bend shadows to your will. Every choice shapes the story: violent confrontation, ghost-like avoidance, or clever manipulation. Deep beneath the slab, the truth is darker than the waters above. What you find here is not just evidence of corruption, but a fracture in the fabric of Karnaca itself, a crack that threatens to swallow the city whole. This moment challenges your understanding of the world. The supernatural and the political collide, and the stakes have never been higher. A Crack in the Slab isn't just a mission, it's a plunge into the heart of Karnaca's decay and mystery. It reminds us that in Dishonored 2, every shadow hides a story. And every drop of water can drown a secret. Master this mission, and you master the art of survival in a city on the brink. Number 4. The Last of Us, Winter Chapter. Winter. In The Last of Us, it isn't just a season, it's the moment the world truly turns cold. Joel is dying. Ellie is alone. And for the first time, the Protector becomes the protected. And then the Predator. The Winter Chapter is a masterclass in tension, survival, and character evolution. It's where innocence is buried. And survival becomes savage. Up until now, The Last of Us was Joel's story. Ellie was cargo, a companion, a reason. But in Winter, that changes. Joel is incapacitated, wounded, helpless, unconscious. Ellie steps up, not just to survive, but to save him. You hunt. You scavenge. You stitch wounds. And in those snow-covered woods, Ellie proves she's not just strong. She's capable. Then comes David. Charismatic. Soft-spoken. A man who offers help. In a world where help always has a price. At first, he's an ally. Fighting by your side. Offering medicine. But the cracks show quickly. His group isn't starving, they're hunting. And not just animals. David isn't a villain. He's a reflection of what people become when they let the world shape them. And what Ellie might become if she gives in. The final confrontation is unforgettable. A knife. A restaurant on fire. Two predators circling each other. It's not just about killing David. It's about Ellie holding onto something human in the face of absolute monstrosity. When she finally stabs him. Again and again. It isn't victory. It's trauma. And just when the ice feels permanent, Joel finds her. Not with guns or glory. But with words he hasn't said since his daughter died. It's okay, baby girl. It's the most human moment in a game full of horror. A broken man finds his heart again. And a shattered girl lets herself fall into safety, even for just a second. Winter is not about clickers or headshots. It's about what we lose in the cold, and what we find when we survive it. It's the death of Ellie's childhood. The resurrection of Joel's fatherhood. And the bitter cost of love in a world that's forgotten how to love. In a game filled with heartbreak, this chapter hurts the most. Because it shows us what people become. When they're all each other has left. The Last of Us, Winter is where everything changes. It's brutal. It's beautiful. It's unforgettable. And even when the snow melts, the scars remain. Number 3. Halo, the Silent Cartographer. No mini-map. No hand-holding. Just you, a rifle, and an entire alien island to conquer. In 2001, Halo Combat Evolved redefined what an FPS could be. And nestled in the heart of that revolution was one mission, the Silent Cartographer. This wasn't just a mission. It was a blueprint for the future of sandbox-level design. And one of the greatest sci-fi battles in gaming history. It starts with a bang. The Pelican hovers, ramps drop, and you're thrown into chaos, storming a beach under heavy Covenant fire. No tutorials. No objectives blinking in your face. Just instinct and adrenaline. This is Halo at its purest. Open-ended combat, tactical freedom, and a sense of scale that felt limitless in 2001. But there's more than just enemies to kill. The mission is about finding the Silent Cartographer, a massive alien map room buried beneath the island's surface. It's classic sci-fi exploration. Discover ancient technology, decode alien secrets, and unlock paths to even bigger threats. But the brilliance lies in the design. The island is open. You can circle it in a warthog. Attack from multiple angles. Retreat. Regroup. Come back stronger. Just when you think you're making progress, bam, the cartographer locks down. The Covenant saw you coming. This isn't a straight line. You're forced to adapt, detour inland, and disable security systems in a separate facility. It's smart. It's immersive. It's tactical. It teaches the player, in Halo, you don't just shoot, you outthink. Then comes the descent. Deep into Forerunner architecture. Metallic walls. Glowing corridors. Echoes of the unknown. Here, Halo shifts tone, from action to mystery. Who built this place? Why is it buried? What is the Halo ring hiding? It's a mission that evolves as you play, from a beach assault to an archaeological dive into ancient alien tech. The Silent Cartographer became the benchmark for open-level design in first-person shooters. It influenced Halo 3's The Covenant, Halo Infinite's open-world zones, and even design in other franchises like Far Cry, Destiny, and Titanfall. It proved you could combine storytelling, exploration, and explosive gameplay, without ever breaking immersion. In just one mission, Bungie delivered a masterclass in pacing, tension, and freedom. The Silent Cartographer wasn't just a level, it was a statement that games could feel like blockbusters and like legends passed down from the stars. And more than 20 years later, it's still guiding us. If you remember storming that beach, you're part of something bigger. And if you've never played the Silent Cartographer, it's time. This is the way the world ends. Or maybe, it begins. Number 2. 3-Leaf Clover, GTA 4, 2008. Before GTA 5 had a crew. Before Michael, Franklin, and Trevor pulled off Hollywood blockbusters, there was Niko Bellic, standing outside a bank in Liberty City, shotgun in hand, about to make rockstar history. 3-Leaf Clover isn't just a mission. It's the moment that turned Grand Theft Auto 4 from a gritty immigrant story into a full-blown crime epic. It all starts with Packy McCreary, an Irish gangster with family issues and ambition. He brings Niko into the biggest job of their lives, robbing the Bank of Liberty in Algonquin. The setup is classic, a 4-man crew, a plan scribbled on whiskey-soaked napkins, and nerves of steel. But nothing in Liberty City ever goes smoothly. The moment you step into the bank, it's clear this isn't just another job. The doors slam. Alarms blare. Hostages scream. Guns are drawn. GTA 4 turns into heat. The tension is real. The stakes are brutal. You storm the vault. Things go sideways. The cops are already waiting. And what follows? One of the greatest shootouts in Rockstar Games history. Bullets fly. Sirens wail. Helicopters hover above the streets. You don't just run, you battle your way through alleyways and underground subway tunnels. It's relentless. You feel the weight of every decision, every bullet, every breath. As the crew is cut down, survival becomes the only objective. You and Paki. Back to back. Bleeding, swearing, surviving. Once it's over, the money's in hand, but at what cost? It's the turning point in Nico's story. Not just another job, but the first time he truly becomes part of Liberty City's criminal heartbeat. And for Paki McCreary, it's a legacy-defining moment. One that would carry him across to GTA 5, years later. 3-Leaf Clover redefined what a Grand Theft Auto mission could be. Intense, cinematic, and unforgettable. It laid the foundation for everything Rockstar would later build with the heist systems in GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2. IGN called it the single greatest mission in Grand Theft Auto history. And they weren't wrong. This wasn't just about money. It was about proving something. To the city. To yourself. To the people who said you'd never make it. 3-Leaf Clover isn't just a mission. It's a masterpiece. And if you know, you know. Number 1. All Gillied Up, a stealth masterpiece. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, 2007. In the world of first-person shooters, few missions are remembered. Fewer still become legendary. But one mission, released in 2007, rewrote the rules of pacing, immersion, and tension. This is All Gillied Up, from Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare. The year is 1996. You step into the boots of a young Lieutenant John Price, under the command of the enigmatic Captain Macmillan. Your mission? Infiltrate Pripyat, Ukraine. Take out a high-value target. And do it without being seen. Infinity Ward crafted All Gillied Up as a stark contrast to the bombastic missions that define the franchise. Here, silence is your ally. Shadows are your weapon. And patience? It's mandatory. You're not a super soldier. You're prey. Surrounded by hostiles. And one mistake means death. Perhaps the most unforgettable moment comes midway through the mission, the tall grass sequence. Dozens of enemy troops. A tank. Dogs. And just you, prone, praying you're not spotted. It wasn't about shooting your way out. It was about holding your breath, literally and figuratively, and trusting the game not to betray you. All Gillied Up didn't just influence future Call of Duty missions, it set the gold standard for stealth gameplay across the genre. Its DNA can be felt in titles from The Last of Us to Battlefield, and even in modern Warzone stealth mechanics. In 2016, the mission returned, rebuilt from the ground up. And yet, the core remained untouched. Proof that true design doesn't age. It evolves. Great missions aren't just about objectives. They're about experience. Whether it's crawling through a radioactive wasteland or trying to save your squad from certain death, these moments remind us why we play, and why we remember. Got a favorite mission we didn't mention? Drop it in the comments. This is just part 1. And there are many more stories to tell.